So we'll be dealing with some of that. We're also talking about the elixir, which is a heal-all. It was given to me by two goddesses, two sisters, one named Sheola and one named Otincha. So they say that this basically, if you call on them and drink this here, they pretty much get up in there and cure everything. One of the brothers was asking, about how alcohol being bad, but they don't understand this is a metaphysical thing. What's happening here is the alcohol is just a gateway for the spirits to enter. And I talked about how in Rudolf Steiner's book, Universe, Earth, and Man, and we all know that surgery was the last resort in ancient Kemet in Africa, and in so many words, basically, your temple was a hospital, but they would just take you and lay you on the table in the temple, and then invoke the gods, and the gods would really come in and operate. It was really easy. About like the movie Stargate, when you saw they had that thing that they laid down in there. That is the science, a sarcophagus type thing, and they would actually operate. So this is the science on these two entities called Sheola and Otincha. Sheola and Tiacha. There's the other one that's called Otincha, but she kind of burns down things. So she said, just don't call my name now unless you want something burned down and stuff. So, and shit, her name is Otincha. And it's about 4 or 5 of them. There's Sheola, which is a healing spirit. Tiacha is the second one. The two sisters, Sheola and Tiacha. The Sheola, Tiacha, those are two healing spirits. Sheola is more of a mother type spirit, and Tiacha is still a nurturing spirit and all, but they're like two nurses. And then you have Otincha, which brings fire. She said she burned down stuff. I thought it was a male, but it ended up being a female. Otincha. Then there's also Shumala, which is a warrior, and Omagumu, which is over thousands of legions of warrior demon spirits. And then there's also, Omagumu, Shumala, which is Shumala is a warrior. Omagumu is a general over these whole these whole legions of spirits, and then like I say, Tiacha and Sheola are both healing spirits, and then you got Otincha that burns down things, and then there's one called Kakumbo, and basically right now, since he came about a month after the other 4 came, there's one called Locayo. Locayo is another spirit. I don't know what she does right now and all, but I know she came about with Kakumbo. And basically Kakumbo, the only thing he has been doing is just been going around the earth screwing women and tightening them all up, which is paramount to what I'm going to be dealing with today and also with this thing here. So basically he's a Shiva type energy, and basically he just lays pipe, lays pipe, Ayatollah Ho controller. But so and basically that's what he's been doing since he was invoked, since he came about. But Kakumbo is a Congo form of Heru Osiris combined. That's what the whole penis thing is about. So he's a Congo form of that. And then you have the Congo rites, which is your 11 other deities, headed by Zarabanda. Zarabanda he's like a Legbar, but he's the gateway to the other dimension. He's the gateway for the other 11 spirits. We'll pour to them in a few minutes. These other 11 spirits, which consist of El Cristo Negro, which is a crucified black Christ, El Cristo Rey, which is the Lord of the world, is a composite of the same, Madre de Agua, which is mother of the water, Madre de la Luna, which is mother of the moon, Francisco de Srichi Reyes, I think the several ones deal with several things with money or whatever. And then there's as a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll go over the characteristics of them in a few minutes, of what they all do. These are the spirits for the new millennium, that will replace. There's only 4 renegade spirits at this particular time. It's like a family fight going on. They got a little pissed and stuff because they want to rule in the new millennium, but these particular ones have been dormant for eons, and then the other ones have been ruling for eons. So it's a little family fight. It's some nigger shit, but it's basically that's how it goes. It's in the mythology today that, it's that way, especially if you read in the Yoruba mythology. The thing about it here is although you have your Yoruba or your Santeria pantheon, the women of the Santeria pantheon, Oshun, Yemenya, Oya, Orisha Oku, and even Olakun is also a woman in the particular Yoruba pantheon. Those women, and we need to get this thing straight, those women, anytime you have a female goddess, there will never be a replacement of a female goddess. They will always rule. So what happened was, basically what you have to do is you have to become a scholar on it to try to understand. And I was talking about this yesterday. Just about every system is in fragment. In ancient Hemmitt, West African systems, all systems are all ancient systems that explain this particular spiritual apparatus. All of them are in all in a form of fragment. So you're not going to get a complete system, despite what a Babylon or anybody ever tell you. There's no complete system left on the planet. So what has to be done, and what is supposed to be done is you're supposed to do a weaving together with the realm of correspondence. So what you don't find in one system, you go to another system and you find the correspondence to it and you weave it together and get one central theme. So give you an example. There's made mention that Oshun, which is Isis or Aset in Kemet, but it's also a form. It could be a form of Hera in Greek. Now don't sleep on the Greek, because the Greek is very important in some of the most important mythology there is, because that is when, like we say again, we misconstrued the time cycles. Greek mythology is black, comes from the Etruscans, the Etrurians, the Tyrrhenians are a form of the Typhonian. So this is what happens. You have your Typhonian, pre-dynastic Egyptians. And then you have your dynastic Egyptians, the Kamites, which is your Amen, Osirian, Ra realm. Your Typhonian, which consists of Sut, Apet, Tyrt, Apep, Khonsu, Mentu, and these older Typhonian gods, as well as Sekhmet. Sekhmet was replaced from the Typhonian era and became a part of the pantheon in the dynastic area, the Osirian era. That particular Typhonian, which is the oldest, traveled out of Kemet, but still remained in Kemet for the duration of Egyptian history. So there was never a time that the Typhonian thing did not remain in Kemet. But the Typhonian is the oldest on the planet. So that particular Typhonian stuff become your Phoenicians, your Etruscans, and filtered and the whole Mesopotamian stuff that they talk about, and filtered on into Greece. So the original Greek are your Etruscan, and so you're talking about a black mythology. Now Greek philosophy was stolen from Kemet. That predates Greek philosophy. Greek philosophy is separated from Greek mythology almost 3,000 years. The Greek mythology was when the original inhabitants of that land were black. So it is very key that you understand the Greek mythology. You see. Now I'll give you an example. You have make mention in the Yoruba mythology that Oshun, the goddess Oshun, was cheated out of the kingdom. So she had to work her way to be a form of the pantheon of Obatala, Legba, Shango, and Ogun, which was the architects of the so-called physical matrix. And she was cheated out of her portion of the earth. Well, you have to look at a bigger picture and try to understand what went on. Ogun, Oshun, Yemenya, Oya, and Olokun, and various female deities. The goddesses belong to an older form of the chaos, the chaos sphere, an older form of the universe before creation. So our world is built on several other primal worlds. And those primal worlds lasted about the same time as creation now has lasted. And creation, let's just give a rough estimate, even with the white boy did one in 98, was 13 billion years. We had creation is 13 billion years, because you can't really calculate this thing based on time. But just to have an understanding, 13 billion years is the creation. You got some other chairs in the back, right? Whatever the deal is. I think he got some more. 13 billion years. So as long as the 13 billion years that we have in creation, you had a primal world that lasted just as long. That was the world of the Great Mother. So the Oshun thing being cheated out of her place in creation is basically a same rendition of that Great Mother Tiamat, a Typhonian realm that existed before creation. In the Egyptian mythology, Ra comes into being by overthrowing Apep. That's a form of the Great Mother. That's a form of the Great Mother. Now, that particular pantheon of the Great Mother and those particular beings that used to rule in that particular time, that became what is known as the underworld and the dark side, and that is the feminine energy. So the original aspects of what you call the satanic realm is basically the overthrowing of the feminine realm. You see what I'm saying? And that's basically your church is a male-dominated system that basically was for this particular creation after the feminine realm. And that's what they're trying to talk about, the Father. You see what I'm saying? Now, these particular entities the West African entities, these particular entities are what we call the Apollo spirits or the Congo rites. These are those dark side entities. This is a feminine realm, and this is the realm that will rule again. In India, it's called the return of Shakti, the Shakti power. In the Kabbalah, which is the Hebrew lore, it's called the return of Shekinah. And in return of Shekinah, in Hemmitt, it's the return of Mayat. The return of Mayat. In Greece, it's the return of Gaia or Echidna. So this is the realm that's being ushered in, the feminine realm. But that feminine force is in both male and female of that feminine realm, which is the Kundalini energy. That's the feminine force inside of us. And this is the war that's being fought inside of our bodies. You see, inside of our bodies. So the only holdouts, because the warrior that was directly over the Zarabanda realm was Ogun. And so that's in the book African Ogun. It's a book called African Ogun. And basically, Kumbanda or Zarabanda, the warrior for that particular realm, in the Christian mythology, would be the Archangel Michael. It'll be the Archangel Michael. It would be the Archangel Michael. In Kemet mythology, it would be a form of Ra. This is just the feminine, this is just the masculine order that rule this form of creation. Now, this form of creation. And so that particular order is now moving out and is on its way out. So there's a little bit of skirmish right now. You got Legba. It's just four deities that's acting the ass. Legba, Ogun, Obatala, and even Shango. They don't want to get up off of the power. because they don't want the power being usurped over them into the new aspect, because they've been ruling all this long period of time. And so it sounds crazy, but in actuality, these gods have a form of senility and mental illness also. And so they don't want to go. But they're very old. They are 13 billion years old, and they're very old. They were young 13 billion years ago, and their parents were very old. And they overthrew their parents, and the parents became human. So we are the parents to the gods that we worship now. You see, to the gods that we worship now. This is all in scholarship. We can break this shit down. You see what I'm saying? That's the good part about it and all. We don't have to deal like we had to take things face value in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, and even in the 70s or whatever, because we didn't deal with scholarship. So basically, we just had to even believe. You had to believe in it. You see what I'm saying? Or you could debunk it with whatever scholarship you have now. Now this stuff is all basically been explained through scholarship, and basically I got 200 tapes out to deal with all this type of information. But anyway, dealing with this, these four renegades are acting the ass. Now immediately what happened when this Zarabandal realm, which is also the realm of Osiris, if you want to cross-reference it, when it started rising back up, immediately the women in this particular realm, Oshun, Yemenyah, and Oya, haul ass back to their realm. So basically they went back to the realm they used to be dominant over. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's a book called The Glory of Hera. So you can, if you want to get more of if you want to say, well, I want to learn a little more about that feminine book called The Glory of Hera, because you just need the artist, you just need the author of the book. The Glory of Hera, and in this particular book it talks about Hera, which was one of the Titans, because the Titans was overthrown by Zeus and the Olympians. Zeus is Yahweh, Zeus, Ra, and these male deities. It would be a form of Olodumare, that male deity. So once that feminine realm was overthrown, to give you the Greek mythology, that's why I say it was very important. You can't throw out nothing. We threw out the baby with the bathwater. We have to weave this stuff together in scholarship so you can get a clear understanding. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like a science that you got to go back in and weave this stuff together. You see what I'm saying? So as a result, Hera, which was a young Titan at the time, a feminine Titan, when their feminine realm with the Titans, which now the feminine realm consists of both male and female, are part of the Great Mother. So when that realm was overthrown by this masculine realm, which was just basically the younger children, usurped the power over the parents. And when Hera was overthrown in the Babylonian, it would be Tiamat overthrown by Marduk. Get the book, several books, Alexander Hadel's book, The Babylonian Genesis by Alexander Hadel, a book called From Distant Days, something Benjamin is the last name. Several ones give you that particular one. There's a book called, I think it's called Mesopotamian Mythology. Anyway, that particular Tiamat, the Great Mother being overthrown, is in papyrus. It's called the Enuma Elish. So you got this stuff around the world that says the same story. So when this particular realm was overthrown, let's go back to the Greek story. When this particular realm was overthrown by these particular young tyrants, Zeus and whatever his crew of men that was ruling needed consorts. The consort were these feminine entities, and rather to be thrown into torturous, thrown into the torturous, whenever you hear the underworld, you hear torturous, you hear Hades, you hear hell. Satan was bound in hell. Whenever you hear that, that means that those particular primal gods were thrown and bound in physical bodies. So there you go. You are the Satans. The Satans, the Tetons, the Titans. Get the book. Alexander Hislop's book, the two Babylons. Alexander Hislop's The Two Babylons. Also, you can get Jeremiah's Natural Genesis, Natural Genesis, 2 volumes. Natural Genesis, 2 volumes. So, in order for those particular entities, Oshun in the West African, Hera in the Greek, and a form of Aset, or Het-Heru, because it's composite of the same entity, in the Camite, in order for them not to be thrown in physical bodies like their family, they had to become consorts to the male deity. So Hera had to become a wife to Zeus, otherwise she'd have gotten cast down too. So they had to come home, and they rule as gods and goddesses in the Olympian realm, but which is the realm that's been ruling over us for the last 13 billion years. But they had to take a subordinate position. Although they were high goddesses, they were still subordinate under that male deity. They were consorts. So as a result, actuality is the human body, and the location under the gastrointestinal tract of the human body, down in the anus, tartarus. You see, we got so much information on this. So they had to take a subordinate role. So immediately, when this particular role of Zoroaster is a form of Tahuti, or Anubis, called Hermenubis. And so when that Zoroaster realm started rising back up, those particular deities that were consorts to those male deities haul ass back to their realm. Let's get ready to be on the rise again. You see what I'm saying? Let's get ready to be on the rise again. So you only got 4 holdouts, and we can use the West African one to understand. You just cross-reference it with other things. Is Ogun. It was the one that was directly over Zoroaster. Ogun, Obatala, Shango, and the Legba. Now, you know damn well the Legba is not going to be a subordinate under Zoroaster, because he is the opener of the gate. Now, what are we talking about here? Now, what we're talking about here is 2 systems. We're talking about the seraphonic realm and the cherubonic realm. Seraphims and cherubims. The cherubims, would be the dark side, the demons, the hell in the mythology. The seraphim would be your archangels. But the archangels are angels of light. They are an illusionary phenomenon. That's the matrix. So they rest within the human brain. Where's the matrix they're talking about? Everything that we talk about here, that you're thinking is out in space, and this is inside of the human body. This is the universe. Now, the matrix that we talk about is the human brain. It gives you this signal and makes you think that this shit is real. And it gives you angles of light to make you think that this is real based on the reflections or the refractions or whatever, the angles of light. Angles, and you get the word angels. But it's in the human brain. But there's a kingdom that will rise up under the human brain, and that's your pineal, pituitary, thalamus gland, and that whole 9 yards. You see, thalamus, then there's the hypothalamus, So that is the kingdom, or the pearly gates, or Zion. And it is so. Lucifer is in hell. Lucifer is the light bringer, is the kingdom, is the pineal up under the human brain. You see, so one is the God of the living, which is the matrix. And then there's the God of the dead. That's Osiris, Zoroaster, Anubis, the God of the dead, Lucifer. So the biblical aspect, that particular realm, the biblical aspect of the patriarchal aspect was talking about, I am the God of the living and not the dead. So it can't be the most sublime God if he's not the God of the dead, because every motherfucker gonna die. So it's right in the Bible. I am the God of the living, the day side, but not the dead. So in the Kabbalah, you have your Sephra, which represents the manifested universe. But you have behind your Sephra of the Kabbalah, you have behind the Sephra, it's called the Kalipoth. That's called the tunnels of Set. The Kalipoth is the dark side or the night side of the tree that will rule in the future. So that's Zarabanda. You see, that will rule in the future. That will rule in the future. So now, because I gave out the formula the last time, I'll give it out again, but if you have problems, you can get that brother back there with that fez on, and he can mix you up some concoction. Or either you can somehow locate me and I can mix you up some. But we're gonna name him Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sir Mix-a-Lot. And then you can get in touch with that brother, get his number, and mix up some concoction and stuff. There's an art form to it, but then again, if you want to go on your own, boom. Do that. And so that is for the people that don't want to get with the water masters, they say in Dune, or the mix master, Sir Mix-a-Lot, and all, you see what I'm saying, is you could get Northern Lights, because I'm getting ready to mix up another concoction next week. Northern Lights, no, this is 3 things you can get, but basically, but the premium thing is Windsor's Canadian whiskey, and Kingsley's London Dry Gin. Now, for all you health people, this don't have shit to do with the health, because this is talking about the spirit realm. The spirit realm is above your millet, your grains, your wheat, and all that bullshit. This is above Sabi. This is above Laila Africa. This is the spirit realm. You know what I'm saying? So one is with something, this is the spirit realm. Now, when you go to the gods, they require this. So if you are gods, you should require this. I be like, God damn it, if you ain't, how the hell is you gonna drink something and I can't drink it? You know what I'm saying? So, Kingsley's London Dry Gin and Kingsley's London Dry Gin and Windsor's Canadian whiskey. If your store is out of Windsor's Canadian whiskey, you get Northern Lights Canadian whiskey or this R&R. But the premium is the Windsor. But the Northern, now, what happens is this, so this is for, because this is going out, what you call it now, and the Spirit said, don't hold back the funk, because there's 2 goddesses, and these called the 2 sisters, Tiacha. Now remember those 2 names, because see, it's one thing to get the concoction, but it's another thing when you call on those 2 sisters. And that's what was missing. So they came to me last week and said, you remember, you forgot the 2 sisters. So the 2 sisters, Tiacha and Sheola. Now, what are these 4 entities, these entities? These entities, they call them the outer gods. That means outside of this known universe is called the universe B, which is separated by a black hole. That particular black hole we moved into on May the 21st. And I think I got the book around here somewhere, the astronomy magazine. But those particular outer gods was locked out of creation, came through around March of 2001. And those particular outer gods, the 4 I told you, Sheola, Omagumu, Tiacha, Otincha, and Shumala, they came through. Those are the outer gods that's beyond the known creation. They are here now. That's 4 to assist their brothers and sisters that was locked down in torturous Hades or whatever, Zarabanda, the 11 gods we're going to get into in a few minutes. They are here too now. But those 2 nurses, or those 2 sisters, the nurturers, Tiacha and Sheola. And then the other sister that just burned up shit. That burned down stuff. She said she was responsible for the damn Pentagon. You know, there's 2 sides of the story that went on. But anyway, when you mix the concoction, so basically what you do is you, let me put this on here so you don't be fucking up some good liquor. You want to buy these half gallons, or, no, this is a half gallon, ain't it? Okay, half gallon. Is this 2 liters? Yeah, half gallon. Or you can just buy whatever. This stuff is very inexpensive. The half gallons, okay, let's get the price down, because that's very important. All right. The Kingsleys, now the reason why I say Kingsley for one reason now, let me explain this stuff here. First of all, for the people, I said yesterday, this alcohol that you call, that you all, I'm all righteous now and shit. The alcohol, the science of the fermentation of this particular alcohol, this distillation or distilling of the alcohol was given to the Europeans by the Moors in the 16 universities. So they learned how to do all that by the Moors. The Moors is the one that gave that particular science to the Europeans. All right. That's where the origin of this shit comes from. All right. Basically, they gave them a complete civilization. And we know this. But this here, too, this is Moorish. This is African. You see, like I said yesterday, they even gave them, the Moorish gave them the suit coat because they took the suit coat from Nigeria. You see, so that there ain't no such thing as white man clothes. You see, now, so the King's List is $10, $10.99, I think. Depends on where you go. For the half gallon, and it's about $5, about $6 maximum for just the fifth. You see. And you got the Windsor's is about $14 for the half gallon. That's the premium. Then there's Northern Lights, which is about 13 or 11. About 12. That's the cheapest one. And then the R&R is about what? About 14, yeah, the R&R and the Windsor. But the Northern Lights is good too. That's for the half gallon. But if you buy them with the fifth, they're only like $6, $7, whatever. Now, the key here is you take, because there's a way, I don't want you to mix have no good liquor falling out of the bottle. This shit is precious now. You can't be wasting the damn juice. You see. Now, it comes with a pour top. Give you the instructions. You pop this top off, up, you do it. Now, this is how you mix this thing. You start with the gin first, the Kingsley London Dry Gin. You pop the top off, the pour top, take the pour top off with the Kingsley London Dry Gin. You get you a cup that bends on the end, not a glass. It's got to be a cup that bends, and you pour the London Dry Gin down halfway in a cup that bends at the top, a tall cup. You see, one of them plastic cups or a good big paper cup that bends at the top. Then you pop the top off the Canadian whiskey, and you pour the Canadian whiskey in to the gin, the rest of the gin. You mix half and half. Then you take that cup and you bend it at the top. I'm just telling you how to do it easy. And you pour that cup of gin back into the Canadian whiskey. And you get 2 of these babies. But I have to explain how to mix the shit. You see what I'm saying? You know. Huh? Yeah, now. There's a couple of science on this now. You don't want no Tanqueray, and you don't want no the other one right up under there. Nothing American like that shit there. Maybe that's special for Negroes. You don't want no Tanqueray, and you don't want no Barnett's. You don't want those because what it is, the alcohol content in those are higher, so you can't get rid of that gin taste. But you got to get that Kingsley's or Glenmore. You want to get those London Dry Gin. Now, but you don't want the one in the green bottles, the Barnett's, London Dry Gin, and the doggone Tanqueray. because you can't get rid of that gin taste. Well, you want to get the Glenmore and the Kingsless. I would prefer the Kingsless. It's cheaper, but it's mild. And the Glenmore is good too. It's about the same. But you want to get that. All right. Then now whatever the whiskey you get, you don't want to get no Canadian Miss. You see, you want to get the ones I told you. You see, there's a science to it. And in 24 hours, basically you can start drinking it once you mix it. But 24 hours, the juice get a little more sweeter, because that Canadian whiskey is sweeter. Now, for healing purposes, you sisters can't be cutting this shit with no Coke or nothing, no mixed drinks, no daiquiris and all that kind of shit. You got to go with the science. Shayola and O'Teach and them ain't going down with no motherfucking damn grenadine and no syrup or whatever that shit is. And so, what's the name was cutting it for a month and wasn't getting the science on it. Now, once you drink this thing, now for healing purposes, if you got AIDS, drink this shit and call on Shayola and O'Teach. If you got a toothache, ass ache, whatever, this shit works. We're talking on an advanced level now. Now, you can believe me or you can run to the goddamn cracker and give you some Tylenol, Thorazine, whatever. This ain't got shit to do with the health, all this and all that kind of shit here. You're going to be fucked around and ain't going to get no juice. This is for the gods only. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's why anything the church tell you not to do is for a reason. Because they're trying to hold down the other realm. Now, O'Teach and Shayola, so that's for healing purposes, you call on them two sisters. T.H., excuse me. O'Teach might burn your ass up. T.H. and Shayola. And they will heal. Now, for social purposes, just drink the elixir. And our brother Ade explained to me on this one that this is pH balance, right? That means that if you're drinking this, as soon as you get in the car, your alcohol level disappears. Now, other things that you got to understand in this war. When you are driving in an automobile, always imagine Anubis. Anybody don't know what Anubis is? Raise your hand. Anubis is a black dog that you see in Egypt. You ever see the black dog with the gold ears? And there's one where he's standing up with a man's body, but the one you want is Anubis where he's laying down on all fours with the tail sticking up. You imagine Anpu, Anubis, Anup, Ani is several names, but Anubis or Anpu is the Camite name. You imagine Anubis on top of your car, and you cannot get stopped by the damn cops. You can ride where the hell you want to go. You can drink this shit. You can smoke your herb or whatever. You see. But the problem here is we have been conditioned not to believe because we are Christian creatures. That means you are bred something. You know what I'm saying? Like they say about the goldfish in a goldfish bowl. He swims around the bowl, and when you put him in the ocean, he still swims around in the same pattern. You see. So we are Christian creatures. So we'll believe the white man because the white man has convinced us that he is the authority and the criteria and the litmus test to all that is right and all knowledge and all that is official. See what I'm saying? Now, like Grace Jones say, I am superficial, I hate all that is official. You see. So, he is not the litmus test. So, I'm telling you something spiritual, you see, that works. So Anubis, Anpu, if you put Anpu on the airplane won't go down. Just put him on the top of the damn baggage jet or the whatever. If you put him on your car, the doggone cops won't stop you. He is the guide to the other world. Now, this same elixir, if you spit it 4 ways in your car, You can ride all the hell you want. I told you, because one of the sisters was spitting the rum. Shakira, she was spitting. This was in Atlanta. She was spitting the rum 4 ways with no insurance, and she got stopped like in '97, and gave them motherfuckers a damn '87 insurance policy. They said move right along. They showed you that in Star Wars, in Star Wars, and the guy said move right along. You see, Jedi mind tricks. You see, so these are things that you can do for protection. Now, for women, if you're walking at night or whatever, you take Anubis and you put him on a chain. Now, some people say, what do you mean put him? I ain't got no doubt. You imagine these things. The realm of imagination is the strongest realm in the universe. So you imagine Anubis on a chain walking with you, and nothing will happen to you. You see what I'm saying? Nothing will happen to you. You know, you men, if you want to get it up and you can't rise to the occasion, call on Papa Day. He's worked several times. But if that don't work, call on Cacumbo. That's the motherfucker that's all he does right now, just be screwing. Cacumbo, which is very key also, Cacumbo and all, because this is all related to what we're talking about here today. So you don't have to worry about the cops. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about the cops. You see. So call on Cacumbo. Couple of things here. A brother had shown me a part of the Temple of Seti I where they showed helicopters, tanks, and airplanes and all that. But the part that he showed, they had filled it in a little bit with artist rendition to try to highlight it. And so, and my brother sent me this book yesterday, and I've seen this book for about 2 years now, or about a year now. And he sent me this book yesterday, and it's in this particular book, where they show at the Temple of Seti when they got helicopters, tanks, airplanes, and all that, and all. So the people that want to see that can pass that around and all. You think you can zoom in on this thing here? Oh, that's right. You got the real deal, Jimmy.
We got a show on Discovery Channel that's been on for a couple of weeks too.
And they're dealing with this?
Yeah, it's some Egyptian show.
Yeah, so the key here, the Temple of Seti I, which is this temple down at the bottom. I got a book from oh, you got it? All right. I got a book that showed a late 1800 painting of this temple. And this is the temple they never show. It's hard to, when they have these tours in Kemet, they never visit this temple. Very rare that they will visit this temple. And this is the temple. It's one of the most important temples in Kemet because it is the temple in the Egyptian Holy Land, Abydos. You see, long before there was a Holy Land in Israel, motherfucking Holy Land, you go there and you got one motherfucking wall in the whole damn country. That's it. One damn wall. A wall and a mosque that was built after such and such time or whatever, way late. And that's it in the whole damn city. You see, and fake Jews, fake white Jews, and fake white Jews. And so this particular but Kemet has monument after monument after monument. But anyway, the Temple of Seti I is one that in the tours that most people don't go. Dr. Ben used to take his people to Seti I. Now, Seti I was built by Ramesses II when he was 22 or 24 or whatever, when his father Seti I, Ramesses I, died. Now, it's very interesting because I have a picture of this temple from the late 1800s, an artist drawing, a painting. And they didn't show this temple again until 1982, and the temple is completely torn down and put back together, and the architecture is totally different. That's because this was probably one of the most important temples in Kemet, because this temple also, and the tomb of Seti IV is also said that the white man was created in this particular Seti I complex. You see, it said that the white man was created. The Tamahu, you see what I'm saying, created and all. So So they show the airplanes and all this. We pass that around, and you just look at it. If the people, they show the hieroglyph, and they try to explain in that what those things are. And if you look real close, you can see the helicopters and all those types of things, and all those types of things.
Children talk about that in Technology of the Gods.
Huh?
In Technology of the Gods, I think you talked a little bit about those pictures of the...
Okay, yeah. And there's a lot of stuff in this, and the artwork in the Temple of Seti I is some of the most profound, is some of the best craftsmanship that the hieroglyphics that the Egyptians ever did, or the Kamites ever did. Let me pour some libations right quick, and get some, and then I want to talk a little bit. I want to give on the tape for the people that's interested in getting the tape. I want to give a little description of these particular gods that's going to come, or what they do. The 11 ones. I gave you the description of Sheol and all those particular ones and all, and the whole master, Kakumbo, and all, and stuff. Now, Kakumbo Kakumbo is in the same a representation of a Shiva or a Dionysus, which in actuality is the Christ before they made this fake Christ figure, the little girly man, Jesus. You see what I'm saying? That the Romans did, because they was in the little boys. You see what I'm saying? So basically, Shiva, and I got a tape called Heru and the Combat Myth, and I go into this particular science. But Shiva in Greece, Shiva in India, Dionysus in Greece, and Osiris in Kemet. But Osiris, we only get one version of the story, the Plutarch story, but there was mass areas of the Osirian story that we don't even have now, because a lot of that is the Egyptologists don't let it out. But all of these come from the Typhonian era, when this was Set or Sut. So this mythology of Osiris, now Sut was what you call Set, which is the enemy of Osiris in the Typhonian, in the Osirian era. The attributes of Osiris with the penis and the obelisk, and Mim with the penis, the attributes of those gods are mainly Osiris and Horus combined. Prior in the dynastic area, before the pre-dynastic era, the attributes of those particular gods was all attributed to Set Typhon, or Sut Typhon. So when the Typhonian priesthood was overthrown, the motif and the attributes of the primordial god of all time was woven into Osiris. You see. But that particular Set Typhon traveled out, becomes Shiva, because his name is Shut, which you get the word shit. The word shit means excrement, which means filth, which means that which existed before creation. Cosmic dark matter. So you get the word Shut, shit. So the word shit is the most ancient name for God. So you get the word shit, or shut, or sut, or set, or setesh, sutek, Melchizedek. All that's the same thing. But sut or shut becomes Shiva or Shiva. And so it goes up into India, yes, Shiva, and also it goes into Bacchus. You get Bacchus, the Bacchanalian realm, Bacchus, and also you get Ash, Baal, all these are different names of the Typhonian god that branched out. But also Dionysus is that Set Typhon aspect, or the dynastic, pre-dynastic Typhonian aspect. So if you want to understand what pre-dynastic mythology is, you go to study Shiva and Dionysus. But if you want to find out more about Osiris, we don't get anything but that same old drama. But obviously it had to be more on the characteristics of him. You know what I'm saying? You need to study Shiva or Dionysus. Now all of these motifs, now the Shiva and mainly the Dionysus motif was woven into Jesus Christ. And then whitewashed him, or they made him into a girly man by taking the sexual aspect out and just left that one little thing, you know what I'm saying, when he got busy or wanted to get busy or got busy with Mary Magdalene. You see, that's the only aspect you get, but they made him an anti-sexual entity for the Roman church. You see what I'm saying? Because they was in the little boys. You see what I'm saying? And hated the feminine energy. You see what I'm saying? Feminine energy. But in his original form, that's what he did. That's what he did. He laid that pipe. You see what I'm saying? Straight up pimp style. You see what I'm saying? You know. This is not, you know. And I know, and some of the people, because we're in 2000, see what I'm trying to tell you, and I said this yesterday, it's interesting here, because I did like I said, I did a conference in March last year, Hemmitt Summit, and I was talking all this sexual thing, and all the so-called Negroes and conscious Negroes, when Bobby done lost his damn mind. But here it is, in September, the white folks had an international conference somewhere in America, I think in New York or somewhere, and white people came from all over the world to have the stuff, and it was talking about the sexual aspect of spirituality. See what I'm saying? But so we have become the Victorian, Amish, Pilgrim, Mennonites, Puritan, white people, and the white people have become the ancient African. And we have done this shit under the guise of religion, because religion is anti-sex and anti-woman. You see what I'm saying? And at this particular time, you shouldn't be fucking with no religion. Christianity, give it up, it's fake. Islam is fake. Buddhism is fake because the simple fact, it is the later version of the Vedic system. If you're not dealing with a scientific program that you raise yourself up to the godhood, and you become the deity, then you fucking around with the wrong shit. It's just fake. Those are byproducts. Now, like I said yesterday, Rudolf Steiner tells you that religions occur when those mystery systems or the ancient educational systems of the past deteriorate and become defunct. Then, as a result, they sweep up the fragments and give you a moralistic brand with a little bit of mythology motif woven into it, and that's religion, and it has nothing to do with spirituality whatsoever. As a matter of fact, every single thing that Christianity tell you you don't supposed to be doing, don't supposed to be drinking, don't supposed to be screwing, that's all a part of the goddamn spirituality. Everything. And especially fucking. That's why I'm talking about the shit. Because the only way out of here is the same motherfucking way you got down here in the first place. And that's from busting some damn nuts. Knocking some boots. So only one way. That is the mothership. We'll go back into that in a few minutes. How you got down here? Somebody knocked some damn boots. Well, that's how you getting the fuck up out of here. And that's why the penis, that's why they was telling you in Kemet, the penis is all over Egypt, the obelisk. That is it. In India, it's the lingam and the yoni, which is the penis and the vagina. That's the mystery to this shit. And religion tell you otherwise. Tell you otherwise, because religion was made to control the masses, and it has nothing to do with spirituality whatsoever. Whatsoever. So, let's split to the gods right quick, and give them some juice. Did I spit on anybody? No. Oh, okay. The chairs was up close yesterday, and I spit right on somebody's shirt. Yeah, so, okay. Well, I should pour him a little glass if I had one. But anyway, and also this is for the, to libate the gods. You can pour them a little glass of this and they drink it up. You see what I'm saying? So, I want to call on the Apollo spirits and stuff. There's a book called Palo Menombe by Carlo Carlo Gardeno Montenegro, but I think the book is now, you might be able to get it, but since then, since I've been talking about it, I think they rushed and took it out of print. But anyway, we'll give the characteristics on the tape, and you can get the tape. Okay, so we're going to call on the Zarabanda, Ashe, okay. El Cristo Negro, Ashe. Los Spiritus in Tranquilos, Santissima Muerte, San Simón, El Cristo Rey, Madre de la Luna, Madre de Agua, La Santísima Pedro Iman, Francisco de Triti Reyes, Mama Shola. Okay, let me give these other 5. Locayo, Sheola, Tiacha, Otincha, Shumala, Omagumu, and Kakambo. Which I'll go into the actual hanky-panky of Kakambo and what he had to do to bring forth a certain realm by, screwing, but we'll go into that type of thing because the things that I told people that was going to go down yesterday, which we will go back over in a few minutes, or later on, it's already started going down. Some sisters, now especially some of the sisters, some of the sisters, and some of the sisters right in here probably have been visited by some spirits sexually. Has anybody in here been visited by some spirits sexually? You see? Well, one sister was brave enough, but but don't worry about it because if you hadn't, you know what I'm saying, just put on your negligee and get busy because they will be coming very soon because that is a part of this thing. You see, that is a part. But I want to give some characteristics of these particular ones. El Cristo Negro, as you know, is a crucified black Christ. Crucified black Christ. Los Espiritus en Tranquilos. Those are 7 entangled African spirits all together. La Santísima Muerte. Now that's a real motherfucker. That's the one that came and screwed me. And then came and screwed me one day. And I was like, man, you need to come on back tomorrow. But I don't like motherfuckers telling me when I got to come back to screw somebody. I said, now, all these goddamn spirits in the world, I got to get the one with issues. I'm like, damn, that shit was great. So you brothers, you're going to get visited by the sisters in the spirit realm. And there's a reason why. And you sisters going to get visited by the brothers. And usually, the ones that show up, man, and it might be several spirits, but there's one that comes, but the image that comes to most sisters that around the country that's been visited by it is a tall, black brother with a big Johnson. A big tallywhacker, a big dipstick. In the image, anybody saw the paint in the Moor of Spain? The brother with the Moorish brother with the long white on? It's an image brought by like that brother. See what I'm saying? An image brought like that brother. Like a John Shaft, Richard Roundtree type Negro. The 1971 version. Before the white women. You see. So Santissima Muerte, she is one that sits over the graveyard. She's more like a segment figure. And she's very jealous, too. Very jealous sister also. Because she likes to hang around with El Cristo Negro. So she's over the dead. She's over the ceremonies of the dead. San Simón, very powerful one. He's over law and justice. El Cristo Rey is one. He's the Lord of the world. He's more like Amun-Ra, but that's a composite of the same El Cristo Negro. Madre de la Luna, she is goddess of the moon, lunar mistress. Madre de Agua, she's the goddess of the waters. La Santísima Pedro Iman is he deals with black magic and black and white magic. Francisco de Triti Reyes is let's see what he deals with. Powerful secrets of he deals with the 4 winds. More like the nature, like oil. Mama Shola, she's fertility one that deals with babies and stuff like that. to deal with babies and stuff like that. So also let me give some shout out to some other entities. Erzuli, I say, Oshun, I say, Yeminya, I say, Oya, I say, Sekhmet, I say, Sekhmayat, I say, Mayat, I say, Metatron, I say, Metronet, Kimithis, Kimu, Hemmitt, Hemmitt, Hemmitt beings, T'Challa chiefs. Okay, let me get a roll going. Papagade, Brigitte, Marasha. Hold on, you get this roll going. Adam Gwadi, Dan Balawedo, Adawedo, Olakun, Olaroon, Oshosi, Arumala, Babaluaye, Het-Heru, Sashet. Sashet is the goddess that sits beside Tahuti and gives Tahuti his knowledge. Sashet. Hecate. That's the goddess that's over most witches and magic. The goddess Hecate in Greece, Hecate, a frog-head deity in Kemet. The original is Hecate. Hecate, Peket, Reket,